Well, we're back with Newcastle, and I still can't decide whether we're good or not. Welcome back to episode 16 of our FM23 beta save with Newcastle, and I guess I owe you an explanation for that weird, bizarre opening phrase there of, are we good or not? I genuinely cannot decide whether this is a good team or not. Let me just explain via the medium of the schedule page. Of course, in the last episode, we saw our loss to Wolves and then a draw to Liverpool. We then beat Burnley and we beat Watford, 3 goals in each game, before losing to Spurs, getting thumped 4-0 by Man United, beating Norwich, losing to Arsenal, beating Southampton and Aston Villa. I generally don't know where we stand. We've got Arsenal again today, and I think we'll probably play the Leicester match as well. And that's purely based on what the league looks like right now. You can see we're in 3rd place after 19 games played. We just beat Aston Villa to jump above them, but they still do have a game in hand. Arsenal are 2 points behind us, so they could jump us if they win today, or we could draw a bit clearer. And then Leicester are 1 point above us on the same amount of games. So it is quite tight at the top. And then there's Man United with a game in hand, 5 points in front of us. So I think it'll be very difficult to catch them. But based on what happens in today's episode, we could rise as high as 2nd. We could drop realistically as low as 6th or 7th. It is very, very tight this season. This is the team we're going to be using for that match against Arsenal. It's Meganian, Majnan. Our goalkeeper in goal, Pedazra, Tiete, Timber and Karsdorp as our back 4. Danilo, Tielemans and Lamar in midfield. Isaac over on the left, which is a bit of a weird one. Cavret on the right, which is also a bit of a weird one. And then Dembele up front. We can see we've got a lot of tired players. We've just played a lot of games in a row. And as much as we have tried to rotate as much as we can, it's not been easy. Even with this match, knowing we had it come up, we haven't been able to rotate quite as much as we would have liked. And, you know, points on the board and all that, we've got to take them where we can, even if it is against Aston Villa. Aston Villa were 2nd in the league at the time we played them in the last match. So it was worth putting out a decent team against them and getting that win just so. Like I said, we managed to jump them. They dropped down to 4th. They still got that game in hand. It's all a little bit bizarre. To move this down at 2 key highlights, I was keeping an eye on the tactic. The last time we played against Arsenal, we did lose 1-0. We played our other tactic that's a little bit more defensive, and we didn't really get into the game. Like a tiny bit. We weren't bad in it, but we didn't look ever like we were going to win the game either. So we're thinking today, if we just go with our normal tactic, we can try and get in the game. And we are managing that early on at home this time, of course, away in the other leg, so to speak. And Lamar here with a free kick for Urian Timber to rise above every other player in the box and head home with our first shot of the game. And we are ahead. Now, the thinking is, we'll see how the rest of this half goes. Whether we come out in the second half a bit more defensive. Oh, we've just dallied on the ball there and let Fabio Vieira in. We're lucky to get away with that one. I do see a lot of that. I don't know if that's our tactics or if that's the match engine. I think it's a little bit of both. But if you dally on the ball, those players will press you. They do not forgive you. Isaac bearing down on goal here. It's a absolutely awful shot though, really. Moussa Dembele playing up front today. He wanted to play more games. He's played 1 and he scored, and he came on as a substitute against Villa and scored as well. So he's essentially scored 2 in the last 2, or 2 in about, I guess, 120 minutes of game time. Lamar there with another shot, but it goes flying behind. Apparently it was blocked by Trevor Chalobah. Also, I'm aware this is very, very laggy. I'm hoping by the time you see this, my new computer would have been delivered. Probably not by the time you've seen this, actually. It might be a couple of days yet. We've hit the bar and it's been booted out for a throw-in. We're looking okay so far. Maybe this is the way to go. Maybe we don't, you know, I think against like United and City, maybe we need to be using the more defensive tactic. But Arsenal aren't exactly brilliant in the league at the moment. So I think if the team is not directly above us, with the exception maybe of like Leicester we're playing in the next game, I think maybe we just stick with this tactic. And if we look straight away like we're in the game, then we can stay with it. If we look within the first 15 minutes like we're conceding loads of possession, and we just don't look like we're going to get anything out of it, we can drop to the more defensive one. But I think starting off, even though it's not a defensive tactic, it's a balanced tactic in terms of the mentality, but it's definitely a more defensive stance. Isaac here, woof, oof. That was a powerful shot. It's a shame it wasn't on target. You did just manage to essentially miss a barn door from 3 feet away. Slightly concerning. We'll allow it. We just hope that eventually he actually scores one. This is another reason why Moussa Dembele is playing up front, because Isaac's only scored 4 goals this season and we're 20 games in. He hasn't played all of them because he was injured for a bit, but he's played enough of them to have scored more than 4. He's definitely not going to hit the same sort of levels as he hit last season. I'm not sure if that's just a bit bad form or if his head's been turned by those offers by Manchester City in the summer. He's also wanted, if we have a quick look actually at Isaac, he is wanted by a couple of clubs. I don't know if we can see. Here we go. So Man United, Barcelona and Real Madrid. I feel like he might have had his head turned and he's sort of already looking at his future in Spain or at the top of the English Premier League, and has decided he's not going to do as much as he was before for us. Tielemans is looking tired already. He's going to come off early in the second half, but as we can see, a 7.0 rating. We're just going to keep him on as long as possible. Arsenal with a free kick here. That was a really, really good save, but it does mean, of course, that they are going to have the resulting corner they could score from. We've managed to just about deal with that one, kind of, but only as much as knocking it back out to them. And again, it's saved. We've cleared that one for a corner. We are riding our luck a little bit here early in this first half. It's a bit squeaky bum time. Fabio Vieira with a corner, this time from the other side. We have cleared that one as far as Smith Rowe, who's, okay, passed it all the way back out to Fabio Vieira, who's just absolutely skinned one of my defenders. This is some very, very intense pressure from Arsenal very early on in this tie. We're only 47 minutes in, so only a couple of minutes into this second half, and this is their 3rd corner. Eventually, you got to think, if we keep allowing them to do that, they are going to, you know, score one of them. It might well be resulting off of this one. Chalobah was the man who scored against us off of a set piece in the previous match, which was about 3 matches ago. They were very, very close together, both the home and away leg in the Premier League. And as I mentioned, going to keep giving them corners. Eventually, they are going to score from one. They've definitely come out, though, looking very, very fired up in this second half. We just kind of didn't ever really deal with any of those corners apart from to keep giving it back. And then Tielemans there, I mean, that was pretty awful from him, really. He's been very, very solid this season. On that occasion, you wouldn't have thought that he was probably one of our best players this season. He looked very, very average. Tiese there, regaining possession and passing it back to our goalkeeper as we try and launch ourselves into a counter-attack. Maybe. Oh, this game is so laggy. Hold on a sec. Right, I've just had a bit of a fiddle with OBS in the hope that it stops consuming so much of my CPU and that we can actually watch the game without it looking like it's in stop motion or some 1970s film. Dembele is through on goal, though. What a way to restart after I've fiddled around with OBS and recording software. That would be absolutely lovely. We are going to go to VAR, because of course we are. We go to VAR for everything. Oh, it's been disallowed. Oh, I thought we were back in it, and I was going to say how great Dembele's been. I mean, he's caught quite a lot offside there, really, isn't he? It's not really that close, so I don't think we can feel too hard done by that. We're going to encourage the team. It's probably time as well that Tielemans comes off. So we'll take him off and... Excuse you. Thank you. We'll take him off and bring on, I guess, Declan Rice there. Is probably our best bit. Yes, I'm aware he needs a rest. Leave me alone. And we probably switched them around because he was very, very good as a Mazzala in the last game. Karsdorp is looking tired as well, so Trippier can come on for a pretty rare start this season. I think this might actually be I say start. I think this might actually be his first minutes in the Premier League so far this season. Dembele there is looking okay. Let's switch all of this around, I think. Do we leave Isaac on the field or Dembele? That's a hard one. I actually think we take Isaac off. As much as it pains me to say that, I genuinely think Dembele's been the better striker in the last few games. And I feel like he's more likely to go and get something for us. Tiete here with a really powerful shot from range, but it doesn't get anywhere near the goal in the end. We just confirm that. Let's not mark Zinchenko. Not if it's going to drag our players so far out of position. They're no good when we're attacking Palmer here. Previously just mentioned and coming forward. Didn't start this game. Hasn't been in the best form for the last few games. But of course is always subject to being a very, very good player and being a very good game-changing player, to be honest. He can pop up with a good goal. He can pop up with a good assist. He just hasn't a lot in recent matches. And apparently that corner must have been absolutely awful because we just don't even see it. Danio's looking tired as well. Let's put Rice back there then. Willock can come on over there. And maybe Callum Wilson now comes on for Dembele just for the last few minutes, with a hope that if we do get a shot, Callum Wilson's fit enough and good enough up front that he can pop it away for us. We've looked decent in this game, to be fair, against Arsenal. It is going to end in a 1-1 draw. I'm not too mad at that result, to be fair. It could be better, but obviously could be a lot worse. And it keeps us above Arsenal. Aston Villa still have their game in hand. Leeds and Wolves have 2 games in hand, as do Spurs. As you can see, we look good, but we could go tumbling down the league very, very easily as well. So what we really need here is a really, really good result against Leicester. We can see some of these have just changed as games are happening now. Aston Villa could still jump us, but we could catch up with Leicester here. Essentially, if we win, we will overtake Leicester because we'll have a better goal difference. And we've just paid Ajax some money for Yuri and Timber. That's always nice. Anyway, let's get over for that match against Leicester. See if we can get a win in the second half of this episode. And as we move into January, it's the 1st of January when we're going to go face Leicester. There are some transfers going on because, of course, transfer in window has just reopened. Miraz has left now. We've got 5.6 million from him. He's gone to Reims in France. Zalewski has gone over to Nice in France for 29, almost, we'll just call that 30 million. He's gone over to France as well. He hasn't actually played any minutes. He hasn't even been registered this season because we couldn't fit everyone in. And we've made a healthy bit of profit on him. We have just signed as well Luka Suchik. Suchik. I think it's Suchik. He's come over from Salzburg. We've paid 15.75 million to meet his release clause. I was noticing in matches, although it looks like we've got a lot of midfielders, now we're playing with 3. We were missing them. He plays Mazzala, which we are playing at the moment, and he can play as a deep-lying playmaker as well. So he covers those couple of positions, which is really, really good. Going to send him on an intensive language course. Ask Tielemans to go and introduce himself and welcome into the club, and then we're going to see if we can actually register him, which we can't at the moment, and that does mean we've got to sacrifice someone. Now the only thing I can think to do here is to try and send Trubbin out on loan, because we haven't used him or Livakovic at all this season, which means I can fit Luka Suchik in. That's the idea anyway, so hopefully somebody comes in with a bid for Trubbin. So I don't really want him to sit and not do anything all season. No, I know we're probably going to get rid of Kieran Trippier, but I don't want him to be leaving either in the middle of the season. Palmer's got a bid from Borussia Dortmund. That's less than what we played for him, and he has no interest in joining them, which suits me absolutely fine. The match against Leicester's today, so I'm intending now just to click through until we get to that match. Although it does seem to be taking a while. Trubbin, yes, I know. Trubbin's not registered. Oh, okay. So Kieran Trippier is joining Villarreal at the end of the season. So his contract's going to end. He's 34 years old now. He is homegrown, so he's useful in that regard. But equally, do we really want a 34 who will be 35 next season in our team? I would argue probably not. let's have a look at our team today. I'm just going to set it up in front of you guys. Sorry, I'm a horrible person. So I think this probably looks about right, though, to be fair. Silva can come in there. Salisu, yeah, he probably stays there because Tiete's tired. Karsdorp over on this side. That probably makes sense as well. Declan Rice. Fernandez, because, yeah, Tielemans is tired. So he can play there. Souček in that case, yeah, he's going to make his debut. That's absolutely fine. Over on this side, I'd argue, yeah, we leave Hudson-Odoi there. Palmer over there. Isaac up there. Yeah, possibly. I mean, we're going to go with that and hope that was the best we could do. Enzo Fernandez lacking in match fitness, though. But who else can we put in there? I mean, no one particularly. Danilo probably comes in for Tielemans, actually, there, because I don't think Tielemans is likely to play at all today. Can Lamar play there? I mean, he can. Let's put Lamar in there. Let's just put him in there just so we don't have a team with unfit players in it, because I absolutely hate having a team of unfit players. It just doesn't sit very well with me. Put on a worthy display, guys. Let's go. Let's get into this match. Let's get a win against Leicester. I mean, that's all we need to do. It's not a hard task, particularly. Look, they're 3 points above us. If we beat them, we've got equal goal difference, guys. All we've got to do is beat them, and then we'll be ahead of them. Lovely stuff. Karsdorp there coming back to regain possession, and now we are on the counter. Palmer, big ball forward to Souček. It's our first look at the man. Oh, I thought he was going to score the first time we ever saw him on a highlight. Can you imagine? Instant club hero. I think you're instantly more liked if you score in your debut for a club anyway. I think that just kind of, it's just one of those things, regardless how good you actually are. Salisu has regained and lost possession in a very, very quick succession there. Hudson-Odoi, though, fulfilling some defensive duties. Not something he should really be doing. He's not exactly a very defensive player, but we'll take it nonetheless. Souček has just been absolutely robbed. This is very tennis-like. Very back and forth, this highlight. Silva to Karsdorp now. He's got a little bit of space to run into, although he's run out of it very, very quickly. And we've had to play all the way back to Antonio Silva. Over to Declan Rice now. Ball forward to that man, Souček. Isaac plays it through to Hudson-Odoi, who hits it sky high. We're looking dangerous, but dangerous in the sense of lots of chances and not necessarily doing a lot with them. If we were just hitting the target, I mean, if we're drawing the save from the goalkeeper, that's fine. Goalkeeper's going to have good games. It's when you just consistently miss the target. Isaac into Palmer there. Can't quite get his shot away, but does get a tackle in to prevent Leicester going on a counter-attack and forcing them into a throw, which is decent, again, for an attacking player. We've not had one shot on target yet. We've had a decent amount of shots, but none of them on target. Karsdorp over on that right-hand side, back into Silva. I would like to see us move this a little bit quicker. So we're going high tempo. I know we have shorter passing, but yeah, see, this is what I was about to say. A lot of it's backwards, and then you get this sort of thing happening. It's blooming Patson Daka. I'm gonna make merch, and it's just gonna say I hate Patson Daka on it, and there's no other reason for me to hate him other than Football Manager, because every time he scores, I'm gonna have to sign him for every single team I ever play with ever again on Football Manager, just so he can't score against me. Isaac into Souček here. I think we actually signed him in a rebuild last season, and he did legitimately nothing. In fact, I don't think he played a game all season, and then we sold him, and I can't remember what club it was for. Completely escapes me right now. Hudson-Odoi's taken a knock. The shock at Hudson-Odoi getting injured. I've never heard such a thing. So Maximum's going to have to come on then. So Maximum come on for Hudson-Odoi. And we really need to get our head in the game here. I mean, we're in the game. We're in control of possession. We're having shots. What we're not doing is converting any of them. And that is a little bit of an issue here, guys. Show me something else in the second half. Get out there. Sort yourselves out. I mean, what is going on here? Patson Daka's off the field. It's fine. It's all good. Patson Daka's left the field. We can breathe a little bit easier now. Palmer has managed to nick that one off of Luke Thomas, I believe it is. And then again, it's another shot. Our instructions are working to the box. Just hold possession. and pass to someone else. Stop taking shots that are going to do literally nothing. I will start pulling people off in a minute, guys. Palmer's going to have to come off. He's going to keep making shots like that because they're just awful. They're going to do nothing for us. That big long ball for Leicester has done nothing for them, though. And it does allow us, hopefully, to go and build something the other end ourselves. Although, again, we're doing that lovely just pass it around at the back and wait to be pressed and have possession nicked off of us type thing. So Maxim there, I don't even know what that was an attempt at. Genuinely, it looks like we're playing in slow motion. We're not. We're in the same speed as we always are. But between us, between Leicester and Newcastle today, they're not exactly given a very thrilling game. Isaac here, holding up the ball. Again, why are we holding up the ball? I don't understand. And Leicester through on goal here for their second. I don't understand what is going on here. But I'll tell you what is going to happen. And what is going to happen here is going to be some changes. Right, Moussa Dembele come on for Isaac. Declan Rice, you're looking tired. Off you go. Danilo, you come on. And who else do we have here who can make a massive difference? I mean, Fernandez. For Lamar, I guess, is probably our best bet. And then we've got Cavarat who can come on in a minute if we need him to. We're going to have to go attacking as well. And I'd argue a little bit more direct on our passing, because that's 2 goals now that we've dilly-dallied around on the ball and Leicester have come and punished us for it. I mean, Isaac there, why is he holding up possession? I'd prefer at that point you pass back if it is a choice between lose possession and concede a goal, or stand there and sort of deer in headlights panic and end up conceding anyway. And now we've got to go on the attack, which is going to leave us even more open at the back is the issue here. And we need to be pressing instantly. We can't even let them in our half. Well, we've done that already. We definitely can't let them in the box though. We need to get rid of that one as quickly as possible. Palmer here, big ball forward there to Sir Maximin, nodded down to Suchik, into Dembele. Dembele is going to convert that one. Is he offside again? No, it's gone back to VAR. Come on, let Dembele have his goal on YouTube. He hasn't had one yet, ref. It counts. So, we are back. Well, I say we're back in it. We've scored a goal. Suchik there. Passing that one to Dembele. Getting an assist on his debut. Dembele getting a 3rd goal in 4 games. And finally, one on YouTube for you guys to see. We have got a free kick here on 60 minutes. We could get back in this game still, but we're going to have to do it quickly. Suchik, it's an assist and a goal on his debut. What a lad. What a signing. Managerial expertise right here. This is all prime professional manager. I knew all of this was going to happen. This was all. We just let Leicester score those 2 goals so we could see this. It is the dodgiest goal you'll ever see. He just basically chested it into the back of the goal. And I'm here going, look at me. I'm amazing. Right. So Mendes is apparently tired. So is Salisu. And I kind of think I'd rather keep Mendes on and bring on Timber and take off Salisu, because Salisu is subject to some questionable decision making at times. And I feel like that's obviously going to be worse if he's absolutely shattered. Mendes is very good going forward and can find some very good passes. So I'd rather have him on the field, knackered or not. Dembele's through on goal here. It's been palmed down by the goalkeeper and it has been cleared out for a corner by the Leicester defender. Although, again, I'm guessing that corner was rubbish because we're not going to go and see it. We need to get another goal here so we can overtake Leicester. Palmer with a corner into the box. It's found Timber. We have found another goal here. I'm staying on attack him. I don't even care. I should be dropping back here and I'm staying on attack him. We'll find out if that's the right thing to do, but we have scored a corner goal here. Palmer into Timber, the substitute coming on, finding that one with his head in off of the post, and now we are ahead against Leicester after going 2-0 down. They have got a free kick though. That's scary. That's scary. That's scary. It's all good. It's all good. It's all fine. It's all fine. It's all part of the plan. Right, we are into the last couple of minutes though, and although this probably now makes no difference, we're going to go cautious, time wasting, back to... No, see, we're not going back to shorter passing. That's caused a problem for the first 2 goals. We just want to close them out now. It's a win against Leicester. It's a fantastic man of the match debut by Suchik here, whose name I hope I'm pronouncing properly, because that man has come on and been absolutely fantastic. Where is he? Delighted with your performance coming on there as a Mazzala. Couldn't ask for a lot more. We are currently at the end of this episode in 2nd place. Again, Aston Villa can still jump us. I think, no, for Spurs can't, Leeds can't, Liverpool can't. I don't think Wolves can now. So they've got 6 points they can gain. So we are in 2nd place. We could drop to 3rd, depending on what Aston Villa do. Again, look at the shock on my face. Look at the shock on my face. When Hudson-Odoi is injured. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. The man is made of Weetabix. It's absolutely maddening. We have got a lot of tired players there, as you might have just noticed. A lot of tired players. And our next game is against Manchester City in 3 days' time. That was the game we were going to show on the channel before we realised that actually Manchester City are down in 10th, which has got to be considered one of the biggest collapses of a team ever, and Leicester are right above us. Let me know down in the comments below as well. I always found this in FM22. I had it mentioned on a few rebuilds I did like 5 years into the future. Man City, 2 or 3 seasons in Football Manager, always drop off and end up mid-table. I mean, last year, my journeyman, I took over Man City as manager, and I think they were like 12th in the table, and we couldn't get a win for love nor money. Anyway, that aside, if you have enjoyed today's episode and seeing us pick up a win against Leicester and get into 2nd place, I'll say it again, 2nd place, then please do drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell, all that lovely stuff. It is not very long now before we will have the full release of FM23. If you haven't picked up your copy yet as well, have a peek down in my description. But we will be starting our journeyman with the full release with Taunton Town. If you're excited for that, let me know in the comments below, and hopefully I will see you there. But I'll be back tomorrow with another episode with Newcastle. I think, having a look at the schedule, we'll probably be facing Manchester United, who are top of the table. That could be a very, very difficult game.